Alrighty then. For those who are here, thank you for joining me today. This is the Bearthought podcast. We do this every Friday at 5 o'clock Central Central Standard Time. Can't get that PS out of my mind. And as always, you have the illustrious Corvo Ninja with me. And today we have a bit of a theme episode for you. I know we don't normally do themes. We haven't done a theme in a while. Thank you. We have our last themes we done was one of our biggest ones was actually sexiest characters in video games, which that one really got a lot of views on. I don't know why, but I guess something about the I don't know, sexy. I don't know what that was about, but apparently that got people's attention.
What, Samus out of her armor? I mean, I'm sorry.
Bayonetta and all the rest of them. So yes, it was a very good one, and we haven't done one in a while, so I thought I'd bring it back. And today one is we're gonna talk about our favorite Pokemon theories. This is one I've been seeing randomly up on my feed, so I'm like, you know what? Why not do a podcast myself about this and go over a few of the more interesting ones that I thought were going to be enticing for those who are into Pokemon theories. And if you have any Pokemon theories you'd like to let us know about, or type in the comments down below, I'd love to hear what your game theory. You're not game theories, your Pokemon theories. Now, Pokemon is purely a fantasy story, we know, but these are theories that sometimes come to fruition and come to actual truth. Kind of like the theory that Ash's mom might be dating Mr. Mime. Come to find out, that's actually true.
He is continuously in the right position.
Yes.
Mime.
Yeah. So that has been proven that Pokemon have been known, or people have been known to date, marry, and other things with Pokemon in this universe, but they'll never show that in a TV show because that's for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think if a woman was gonna date a Pokemon, though, it'd be like Machamp or something. I mean,
Yeah.
mostly. I mean, multi-armed.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm sure you've seen some like the funny clips of like this one funny clip that like a dad comes into a room and going, "Son, we need to talk." He's like, "What? We need to talk about all these Pokemon that you're capturing." And all you see is he's like all these Pokemon in the bed with him, and all these like muscular guy-looking Pokemons start pumping out of his bed. And he's like, yeah, all of that. And then this one genie Pokemon comes up to him, is like, and this is definitely this is what's going on here. And he's like, it doesn't even like it's not a human, it's a Pokemon. I'm like, how can you tell? It like has a tail, and he pulls up his tail and looks like one of those not safe for kids moment here. One of those little bees that you pop out of the keister one at a time. It looks like one of those. It looks like one of those. So Pokemon have a weird design sometimes. So it is always funny. But let's go into it and talk about our favorite one. Now, I'm gonna talk about one that I think me and you both know of. We kind of talked about over beforehand, and that is the Cubone theory.
Yes.
Okay, so let me hear your theory first, and I'll give you mine afterwards.
So, there's many theories about why Cubone wears a skull.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are, that he's really a Charmander with his tail, with his flame put out, which I'm on the fence with that one because my understanding is Charmanders can't live without their tail flame, so I'm not sure how that works.
Oh, we can go over there's a theory beyond that one, but keep going.
Some people say that it's a lower grade version of like Dragonite because it has the same kind of body structure but tiny. I personally think that it wears a skull from its ancestor.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of what I think. Because I'm trying to think of how else a small Pokemon like that would just randomly get a skull for a helmet. I mean, I don't think there's many creatures that size that's going to give a little bitty Pokemon his head to wear.
Okay, so the theory behind the Cubone partially being a Charmander, is okay. So the theory is a Charmander or a sorry, I'm about to say Charmander, but a Charizard has a child. but the Charizard dies either during birth or as giving or before giving birth, and the Charmander comes out, and the Charmander is supposed to receive its flame from its mother, but it never receives its flame from its mother because mother's dead. And in his grieving, it stays around his mother so long that it never gains its flame, so it never can be put out or never being gained. And when she dies, he finally takes her skull and puts it on her head as a memento, because the skull looks very much similar to a Charizard and not of a Marowak, which is the evolution to a Marowak, and never learns fire moves and never gains its flames, and its skull looks like a Charizard.
Well,
That
I
is,
mean, wait. Now the
mm,
Alolan version of those do have some flame moves. They're dark flame moves.
yeah. Some people think those are like ghosts or dead um Pokemon, which I don't really know if that's the case,
Okay.
or if they're actually alive or not. But that is a theory. I think that's one of the most darkest ones out of all of them, and I've always found that one so tight to the chest. But the problem is in the Pokemon games, if everybody ever plays the original Pokemon games, red and blue or green, whatever you are in the world, you can take a Cubone to go see its dead mother in the graveyard. You remember that?
Whoa. Whoa. Oh yeah.
So is it
Okay.
is that Cubone actually dead mother of a Marowak, or is it a? But it looks like a Marowak. Like it's kind of like that kind
It,
of refutes that theory.
right. Right. It's kind of, but it's like most things, though, man. I'm sure that there's multiple ways you could look at it, but I want to say, regardless of whether it's a Charizard
Mhm.
or a Marowak, the skull comes from its ancestor.
Yeah. And I would think maybe just a possibility. Maybe it was an evolution of a Charizard that or Charmander that mother died, and then from there on the Cubone race kind of kept on going on this about its own self,
Branched
finding
off,
yeah,
branched off, yeah.
found its own groups and started going from there. But then the dark thought every time a Cubone is born, the mother dies or father. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but that would be like suck. Like, oh, every time I have a child, I'm gonna die, and then they're gonna be going grieving, and then the next one and the next one is like living that life. If I was a Pokemon trainer, one, I would give me a Cubone because I feel so bad for them. But two, I like it's almost like, did you want to keep that race going, knowing that constant sadness will keep on going over and over and over again? Like
No,
that would suck.
that's crazy.
Um,
That's insane.
uh,
Now,
go ahead.
okay, so that was one of your theories. Here's one of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about this before, but there's the god race basically of Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a question. This has been posed before. Are Pokemon from like a different dimension? Okay. That has a valid point because they are creatures that seem to not be of normal means, right?
Yes.
But when you look at it, a god wouldn't change its dimension. So are we the ones from a different dimension in their world?
Oh, so we were pulled over to their world. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Think
that
about that.
that could be very much the case because in Pokemon Arceus, a trainer from the future of the certain timeline was pulled into the past, meaning that God took interactions with humans rather than taking interactions with the Pokemon themselves.
Right.
Um, and a lot of stuff have happened because of that. So yeah, okay. So we are the aliens. We are the invaders of a race of creatures that are might be friendly. I'm still confused on like what a Pokemon really are, friendly or not.
If you remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
originally Pokemon were not friendly with people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and to your point, a god Pokemon took a human and sent it back in the past to try to build that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, why would you have to build a relationship if these two species have been coexisting in this time, in this place all along? You wouldn't.
Nah.
So my feeling is, and this is just me, I feel like humans were pulled into a world that Pokemon lived in, and then the god Pokemon realized, oh shit, this ain't working out the way I want it to. Let me kick this dude to the past and let him try to build that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah. Okay. So, another YouTuber did a theory on this. I want to talk about this as well. It's still a theory, but it has a very deep founding. So the god of Pokemon, he's been pretty much established as the god creator of all Pokemon. Pulled a human into the Meijin era of Japan or a Pokemon universe, and the theory goes is he wanted them to go over there to show that Pokemon can work together and be friends with them, and they can help you do chores and other things like that. But the real deep dark goal of his reason for bringing human over to do that was to actually help make certain Pokemon extinct because they either chose they were threatening humanity in a way that they would not be able to have a peaceful future or a good future with them because of their evolutions or the things they were able to get to. So when you went over there and started to mess with the timeline and getting with some of these Pokemon, humans started getting a little less scared of Pokemon and a little less frightful and started to begin a little bit more aggressive with certain things. And Pokemon furs and their bodies and what they had to gain from taking some of these out were a deep threat. Like, real life has happened into our world where we see value in these animals of our world and we go hunt them to extinction.
Yep.
And the god of Pokemon went, yeah, in order to have peace, I need you to go over there and make a peace, but I know you're going to probably kill a couple of them off, but that's okay because your future will be prosperous.
Prosperous.
Prosperous, yes. So that's pretty dark. Like thinking like, hey, I need you to kill off some Pokemon for me. You're going to go get their peace.
My children.
Yeah.
Kill some of my children for me, please.
They're little powerful, little aggressive, or a little bit, they don't have really any beneficial for the future that I'm trying to build. And that's pretty dark. I would hate for our god to be like, yeah, I need you to go to the past to fuck up the future.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Stealthy says I'm a little soft.
You're a little soft? Okay, I can turn you up a little more. But again, I might be a little loud.
But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that could be like. I mean, if you remember, there is an episode where I guess god version of Gengar and a god version of Abra throw down because they're resurrected when tombs are excavated.
Was that in a movie or was that in a TV show?
No, that was part of one of the seasons, one of the episodes, because they were down trying to do the whole archaeological find thing, and they found the bent spoon from the Abra, and I can't remember what it was they found for the Gengar, but the Gengar gets set free, and I think the Abra has to combat it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's jump into Curve's a little low. Okay, I just got all that like text like within 5 seconds of writing. What the fuck? Okay. Okay. That's it. I can hear Polo, but sounds like he's coming through a pillow.
A pillow.
Like I almost have your volume all the way up. I wonder if your mic is a little bit more sensitive than usual.
I don't know, unless somebody bumped it. Here, let me try this. How about now? Let me know what you think now.
Yeah, let me know.
But yeah, there was all of that with the Abra and stuff. So I mean, Yeah, there might be a god Pokemon that created all Pokemon, but I feel like there were other godly Pokemon
Mm.
throughout it. And maybe sending that person to the past was to deal with some contention.
Yeah, I can see that, or maybe some uprising of Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the next one, this one is a theory that I've heard a lot of people come up with. The original reasoning behind Ditto. Now, I'm pretty sure you know the one reason. I'm gonna let you say that one if you know it. Do you know the reason why Ditto was made?
I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest.
Okay, so there's two contextual reasons why Ditto was possibly made. Now, in the Pokemon movie of Mewtwo, they were trying to make so many new versions or try to recreate Mew, the most at the time the most legendary Pokemon and the most powerful known Pokemon in the game, but no one knew if Mew existed until someone found, I guess, a fossil or something that they were able to take some DNA from to
Right.
make actual Mew. And in doing so, they failed so many times they made a new Pokemon named Ditto because it's able to turn into any Pokemon, right? It's able to
Yep.
form to any Pokemon. And all the time they were trying to do it, they ended up making a bunch of Dittos and then throwing them away. And eventually they were able to make Mewtwo. So that's one theory. But the theory that I like to hear is Ditto was made because of Pokemon going extinct. So they made Ditto so Ditto could breed with any Pokemon to help it go extinct. And one of them being the well-known, beloved Pokemon Gengar, which is one of my
I have
favorites.
I have a third theory.
You have a third theory? Okay.
I have a third theory. So we are humans, right?
Yes.
And we always, when fearful of something, want to combat that something.
Yes.
What if we created Ditto so that it could turn into any Pokemon, so it would be the ultimate weapon against any Pokemon?
Yeah, that could be it. Now the game version of Ditto, normally you would learn abilities from the opposite Pokemon, and that's like the abilities you'll be able to do. Like that's it, right? Whatever Pokemon ability it has, Ditto will learn to have, and that was very much like anything else Ditto could do was just transform. That was it. He had no abilities themselves, so it's really hard to combat one thing. Change the game, get you an impact. It should be in. Oh, it must be on here. I got that. I got it. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Anyway, so at least I think I got it on Twitch now. It should be on podcast now. Listen, you did it for me. Okay, so I think the idea of Ditto being brought back to or made, or at least let's say both theories are correct, right? They messed up and they made a bunch of Dittos try to create Mewtwo. But now they have a machine or a device can literally bring back any generation of Pokemon as long as you can find its DNA. Can you imagine they go, yeah, you know what those Pokemon that you accidentally extinct in the Arceus game? The god made you go back and try to kill? Go find their DNA and now you can make another one. It's like, great,
Yeah.
you just brought it back.
You just started this shit all over again.
You're like, what? God's gonna be like, God dang it, I just got rid of him. Not him again. But yeah, we also like there is some sources like natural resources in the game's world that you need to involve certain Pokemon, like a Scyther has an evolution, but the material in later games are nowhere to be found because we kind of mined the hell out of it to get it. And I can get that, but you know, maybe you could just bring back the Pokemon just by itself without the requirement of Scyther. I don't know. I just think that's really cool that they have that. All right, now this one is interesting and contentious one because it kind of goes back to the earlier we were talking about. Professor Oak is evil. Now, in the original game, there is a way for some people that know the secret way, or was a way, let me say, they had it in the coding, you can fight Professor Oak at the end. And it wasn't like Professor Oak was a good guy. No, he was probably planned to be evil. and people's theories on why you would be able to fight him and he was maybe a villain person because for one, he gave every single kid this Pokedex that tracked you wherever you went, tracked every single Pokemon you got, tracked
Knew
all the
everything you did,
knew
how you
everything
powered them, how you trained them.
everything you did. This device tracked you. And on top of it, how much was that Pokedex wrong? Do you know how many times that Pokedex in the game was incorrect? But
Stealthy says, I mean, does he make the candies when you trade him the extra Pokemons you catch in Pokemon Go?
yeah, he could be literally turning your Pokemon into just candies. Yeah, so a lot of people think he's actually a bad guy because a lot of things that the Professor Oak came into question. Like, why was the Pokedex so wrong and so many incidents? And he's supposed to be the professor. He's supposed to be the guy that knows it all. Yet a lot of these things come to find out future release that it was totally not correct.
Sabotage.
Like, yeah, it was totally sabotaged, and he was having these kids go out to this world for him. Parents were okay with it to go hunt down these Pokemon that could kill their kids, honestly, and go gather information while he tracked
Child
you.
labor.
Yes.
Child
So
labor.
I really like this idea of Professor Oak being evil. Cause it would
He could be. I mean, look at it. Okay. He gives you a choice between dangerous monsters to take with you right out the gate. He gives you a defective data device that tracks your every movement and asks you to do it all for free while you're still a child.
My mom.
I'm saying evil genius at this point.
Yeah, he has all the means. He has like the world round information, the world renowned information. All the gathering of Pokemon info is going to him, and he's pretty much the start of every single thing's beginning. Now, do you have another theory? Because I have one that goes right behind this one.
Hang on. So Stealthy says, well, in his defense, he did say at the beginning that the Pokédex was not completed, and it was the job of the kid to complete it.
Yes. He's like, not completed, but all the information we have in there, or not all of them, a lot of information in there was not correct. So yeah, I get that. Okay, so have you noticed in the Pokemon universe, there is not a lot of adults. There's a lot of kids in the game or in the universe.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Okay. So the theory is there was a Pokemon war at one time in the past, sometime between the Meijin era into modern day, there was a Pokemon war. And the theory is that the Pokemon war was so bad. I hope this comes true one day because I want this to be true. The war was so bad, it killed off so many adults. Kids had to start becoming trainers to combat the Pokemon back. And that's why kids are nowadays more and more being the Pokemon trainers than adults are themselves.
It's a little crazy, but yeah.
It's a little dark.
I can see it. It's dark as shit.
It's like it's
Mommy,
almost
when's Daddy coming home? Never. A Charmander ate him.
yeah, a lot of Pokemon might have killed off a lot of the adults in the game, and these are all theories, of course, right? But they killed them off, and it almost came like, all these kids at one time were trainers, and going, well, I was a Pokemon trainer when I was a kid, when my father and mother died. So why can't I not let my 12-year-old, 13-year-old son or daughter become a Pokemon trainer when they grow up? I did just fine. Yeah, you were combating for a war. You're trying to survive.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I went to war, let's say I had a kid and my kid went to war at 14 and 13 years old. He's like, oh, I have a gun. Why can't my 13 and 14-year-old have a gun? Pokemon are pretty much the same thing. Dangerous, very highly bugs creatures, and your camera froze, and you're like, you still hear me? Hello? Did I just leave my stream? Oh, that's not good. Ah. down. It's back. It's choppy. You see and hear me. Can you? Says no internet. We might have lost connections. Don't know. But okay, so I am here. Corvo got lost. How did I lose Corvo? Okay, I don't know what happened. I just hope he rejoins me again. Sorry if the camera's messed up. Guess I'll recall Corvo and see if it maybe was on his side, because it says no internet, but how do I have no internet, but yet I'm still connected to the internet? I'm quite confused right now. My computer literally says I have no internet, but yet I can see myself on my phone. It's not like, son of a God giver. Okay, what happened? Corvo, come back. Not how I am. Oh, what happened? Where's Corvo? Corvo. Goodness gracious, just Corvo. Internet went out. Well, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Should I go over here? Should I go over here? I don't know. Okay, so I guess I'll just chill over here in his spot until like he comes back. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go to my next theory until he comes back. Okay. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know what to bounce off of. Son of a basket weaver. Routing dropped hold a second. Sorry, chat. Sorry for those who are watching. Like and subscribe. We're almost at 200. Let's go. I'm still confused on my end, though. Like, seriously, if I can show you my screen, which I can't right now, mine literally says unidentified network. It literally says no internet. Yet I'm still with y'all somehow. All right. My camera looks a little choppy, too. I look a little blurry. Oh, whatever. Well, how's y'all's week? Hope everything's going good with y'all. I probably won't be streaming this evening because I kind of hurt my shoulder, and it's kind of hard for me to type or hold things up or extend my arm. I guess the way of saying it. What happened? We lose both. Oh, we probably lost both feeds. Oh yeah, because we lost it because of the call ended because he was. Yeah, you don't see me. It's all right. I'll just come over to this screen for what the. Oh yeah, I forgot. Turn my camera off. Yeah, I'm just gonna come over to. Oh shoot! Then now he's gonna call me. Now he's gonna call me. God dang it! Messes with my camera. Okay.
Ugh.
I thought that was me, honestly. I'm like, what the heck?
No, that was me. I accidentally bumped the fucking power cord. I'm moving some stuff around in here, and I forgot that it was a little more exposed than normal, so my foot went forward and click.
All right.
Okay.
So where were we at? I kind of lost my train
Shit,
of.
I lost I lost the whole train when everything went bloop. I was like, oh, what the
Okay,
fuck?
well, let's jump into this one right here. And I thought this was a very cool concept. For those who've watched the original Pokemon series, sorry about that, everybody. There was everybody. Well, for those who read the mangas and those who watch the Pokemon series, notice there's a slight difference. But Ash and Red both had a Pikachu. Toward the very beginning of the series. Now, back then, Pikachu was fatter and he was more of a rat, and he was cute, but not that cute.
Right.
Pikachu was not friendly with Ash at all. And for those who know, usually that means, or that could mean, one of two things. Either the Pokemon just has a temper issue, or the Pokemon knows that the trainer is not well equipped enough to be its battle partner, be its combatant trainer, whatever you want to call it. You learn that if you play the Pokemon Red and Blues. You learn that during the Charizard series of Pokemon as well, when Ash was not strong enough until later on.
Right.
And Pikachu did not like Ash and kept on shocking him, which a lot of people think Ash might have died because of that, and he was just living this dream world afterwards, but that's a different theory. So people think that Ash's Pikachu was not Ash's first, that he had a prior or a previous trainer. And my theory is that previous trainer was Red from the mangas. Because at level 1, or not level 1, at the episode 1, when Pikachu gets attacked by all the sparrows, you remember that part where the sparrows are pecking and Ash is protecting Pikachu? Pikachu releases the move that he can't learn until like level 15 or 30, I forget, Thunderbolt, which is a very powerful move. And most starter Pokemon start at like level 3, maybe 5. That's it. So how did Pikachu know that move? That's a
good question.
What do you think? Do you think Pikachu would just like already pretty strong, or what? Do you think he just had a previous trainer?
I mean, I'm with you, but I mean, and think about this. Okay, so Red, we'll say for shits and giggles that Red was his first owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to Red when the TV show come out? Where was Red at?
Red was like way ahead of Ash. Way ahead.
Right. Way ahead. Like how far ahead?
I think we don't actually meet, or the Ash doesn't actually meet Red until like almost past Alola. Does Ash actually ever meet Red?
Right. And how old is Red?
Oh. See, that's a problem with the Pokemon series. Ash never gets older. So, which has its own theories why Ash never gets older, but I don't know. It seems like Ash and Red are the same age. Honestly, like in the TV series.
I don't know. I have theories upon theories upon theories. Let's say, what if Red made a wish on a god Pokemon too?
Oh.
What if Red, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Is really Ash's dad.
Oh, that would be deep. And I would be like, hey, I'm passing on my Pikachu. And Professor Oak's like, no, you don't want that one. I know that Pikachu. Your dad knows that Pikachu. You don't want it, my son. That would be deep. Okay, so let's see. Talking about the kids being the trainers in wars, not necessarily. For example, they did say Pikachu was not a normal Pokemon. Pikachu is not at all. Not all Pikachus can learn Iron Tails. Yeah, that is true.
Just so you know, we only see you right now on the podcast. Hang on. Maybe that was where you was fucking with the camera.
Maybe.
I'm waiting for it to come back up.
And then we got at least my phone is caught up, so I see both of us. So I think also that there's another theory that Pikachu was already max leveled, which would make sense, but then like there was moves that Ash did learn later on or Pikachu learned
Right.
later on in the episode.
Right.
So how he learned that, but then at the same time, Pikachu was able to learn moves that he would not normally be able to learn. I believe, could be wrong, and unless he was a Raichu, which he turned down the entire seasons of Pokemon and to the very very end.
There was even an episode where Ash asked him if he wanted to evolve, and he's like, "Hell no."
Mhm. Which Pikachu eventually does turn to Raichu. Like very very end of Ash's run, Pikachu finally goes and says, "Yes, turn me to Raichu," and they turn him. And I was like, "Wow, that's a long time coming," but also like what a way to end Ash's and Pikachu's little story by turning Pikachu into a Raichu. I don't know if I could do that. Honestly, I like the way Pikachu looks way better. I don't know. I like Pikachu more.
Well, my problem is like how much of his personality changes when he evolves. Like,
Mm,
I
mm.
mean, I've spent 30 years as a 15-year-old with this mouse. You know?
Kinda true, kinda true. I thought that was a um very enjoyable thing, and I've always liked that idea of possibly Pikachu being a owner. But okay, so let's go back to Ash, and this is another theory that is who is Ash's father? And we kind of talked about it previously in the episode, and I'm gonna go with this theory right here. One of the theories is Ash's father is the leader of Team Rocket's
Yes.
main guy, and the theory is given his status as a big bad in the anime, the idea of Garmadon being Ash's real father is quite a shocking one, no doubt. It would, however, explain why Gwynfor Team Rocket's lackeys, Jesse and James, always seem to be in the same region as young Prodigy, despite the vastness of Pokemon, or the vastness of Pokemon world. Meaning, the bad guys, he is always sitting Jesse and James where Ash's is to protect him and watch over him. Even though they want the Pikachu from him, that's just a way of getting Ash stronger.
Yep.
And
that is one of the theories that I read, and I actually like that theory.
So it's like Ash has his own bodyguards, and just so happen to be two really annoying, but like they're comparable. Like they can do bad things, but
Listen,
they never can.
if Ash knew that Jesse was there to guard his body, I think James would have to take a sabbatical.
Yeah, I've seen a little. It was a homemade little video someone did. Jesse comes in the room wearing nothing but like a bikini on, and we're like, like donuts, pizza, video games, and me. He's like, you can't be here right now. My mama's not here. He's like, and she's like, I'll be your mama. I'm like, wow, that's a fanfic if I've ever seen one. I
always love how Jessie looks so nice in the anime, but they always played it off like she got pissed off when she was called an old woman.
Yeah. Even though they're technically still very young in the actual series. And I even though some people might not see it, Jessie, she actually has a real heart of gold. Like her backstory is, for anybody who does not know this, she wanted to be a Pokemon, like a healer. What you would call it? At the Poke Centers, a nurse, Pokemon nurse. Yeah. She loved Pokemon. The problem is, every person that was trying to be a nurse was a Clefairy, or not Clefairy, Chansey, right? Chansey with the egg.
It has a Chansey.
Yeah, it was a Chansey, and then she's like, and she was always looked down because she wasn't a Chansey. She got spiteful and angry. Then she said, you know what, screw it. So she found a place to belong in Team Rocket. Good choice. But she's a real good heart of hold. But all right, so here's the next one of Ash's possible fathers is Professor Oak. Now, I know I've already talked about this before, but Professor Oak, the theory is that he's always there for Ash, and he lives nearby. Now, they never got married, but Professor Oak knows so much about Ash that he probably shouldn't know. And some people think that his father is hiding in plain sight. and Professor Oak
Okay.
is that man.
Okay. I have problems. I
Uh
have problems.
huh.
First, this man is ancient. Damn, mama.
Uh
We
huh.
can't
Well,
find something without wrinkles. And two, like, what the fuck? How old is his mom?
I don't know actually.
I mean, she can't be. She's probably like Jesse's age if you look at her versus Jesse.
Uh huh.
So that's like 20s.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably like 60s to 70s.
He got early gray
Holy
fox
shit!
syndrome. That's what he got. Early gray fox syndrome. No,
Yeah,
he's
okay, so explain all them wrinkles and shit on his face. That ain't gray fox. That's fucking pug.
he deals with all the Pokemon for years. He's gone senile. I don't know, but I thought that's a pretty funny one. Okay, now this one is a deep, deep, deep theory on Pokemon. Okay, so in the Pokemon universe, especially the TV show, that all the Pokemon centers has the same nurse.
Yes.
It's a Nurse Joy. I believe it's Nurse.
It's Nurse Joy, and they all have the same cop too.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her name is right now.
Okay, so the theory behind Nurse Joy is that all of them are the same, and even there is a Nurse Joy in the Lola area that is like dark skin for tanning. Jenny? Is it Jenny? It might have been Jenny. It might have been Nurse Jenny.
Officer Jenny.
Officer Jenny. Officer Jenny.
And it's Nurse Joy.
Okay, yeah. But for the Nurse Joy one, don't know about the Jenny one because they didn't talk about that, which would leave it to another theory. If that everybody comes up with a good one, that Nurse Joy is actually an evolution of Jinx, or not Jinx, Chansey. It evolved so much it wanted to talk like humans and had the same extremities as human. It evolved into a human-like Pokemon. That's why all of them look the same. There's even a shiny one in the Alola area.
Okay, look. Don't tell Brock that shit. He be trying to get it canceled just to evolve it.
Cause Meowth, he learned how to talk, right? And there is some theories that there are Pokemon that used to be human. Some of the ghost Pokemon used to be humans. But what would stop a Pokemon from evolving into a human?
I don't know.
So that's why all of them look the same. Now, if everybody of Nurse Joy was a Chansey, what was Officer Jenny? What could she have been? A Growlithe? I doubt it.
Because they all use Growlithe as their police dog.
I know. So if all the Joys use Chansey and all the police officers use Growlithe, then how's that going to quite work? But yeah, that's why all of them look the same. They always say, "Oh, it's all cousins," yet they're all cousins look the same. How does that quite work? No one knows unless they're Pokemon. That definitely would be difficult. Yeah. So I thought that was so wild. They're like, yeah, that's the reason why there's so many of them. And it all looked the same. You got one?
Okay, so think about this. So you have the ghost Pokemon, right?
Yes.
And then you have your, I guess, for lack of a better term, werewolf Pokemon when you talk about Rockruff and the full moon.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
What is the candidate for vampiric Pokemon?
Vampiric Pokemon. Well, there is some Pokemon that have Siphon or something like that, but was that considered as vampiric?
Well, what I'm saying is okay, appearance wise.
Mm-hmm.
Appearance wise.
Would you consider like bat Pokemon to have the vampiric side of it?
I would say that. I would say some of the bats, but I'm looking. I haven't seen one.
I don't remember what she had either.
That's part of my theory. Is like, why would you put those in? But you don't put that in. I mean, you have a Dragonite, you have ghosts, you have psychics, but there's no definitive vampiric class.
Are you thinking maybe because they're not like there's no real unless Chansey was unless Jory was a Chansey, there's actually no humanoid like vampires like in the game, but they're all symbiotic through through bat
Right,
representations.
right, right. Now you're getting there. Now think about that. Now think about how that affects every other humanoid in the game or manga or the show.
Could they turn people into vampires? If they bit them, just put hypothetically, if they could there be actual vampires in the universe because of Pokemon having vampiric? Then again, werewolves. Ah, so but then again, there is some Pokemon that does look like the staple of or horror creatures in the universe, like werewolves. There's one Pokemon that looks like Dr. Frankenstein in the offshoot version of him. It's not really Dr. Frankenstein with the little bolts on his necks. And of course, if you count the vampire bats, if you call them vampire bats or just bats,
Right.
you know, the Loch Ness monsters, you could pretty much go down the list. But yeah, I would wonder what that would implicate if the horror was actually put into the world. And then again, the idea of Pokemon is already a horror fest as it is. Like
Yeah.
Pokemon are scary if you actually get down to nuts and bolts of them. They're horrifying creatures. Okay, so this is a Pokemon my wife loves a lot of. A Pokemon by the name of Mimikyu.
Mimikyu.
Everybody
Yes.
loves this little guy. It's a Pokemon that is so ugly in according to descriptions. If you would actually just see it in real life, just it in its truest form, you would run away in nightmares and have nightmares for years. You would throw up. You would just feel just terrible looking at this Pokemon. So what it does, it disguises itself as a beloved Pokemon, and one of them is Pikachu because everybody likes Pikachu. So it got a costume of Pikachu upon the top of his body. But the theory is that Mimikyu is a dead Pokemon, res from the dead, and it's a zombie.
Zombie.
And it wants to be loved again, so it covers itself up in its original form, so it may be loved again.
Wow, that's kind of deep. That's really deep.
Cause you know you feel so bad for this little guy. Like even me and my wife said, like if we have a Pokemon in the universe, what would be one of them? I said Mimikyu too because it's cute. I feel so bad for it. It's so sweet. It's kind. It's a dark Pokemon, but it's like you can't help but feel sorry for this little guy because he's trying so hard to be loved, but it's dead. So, yeah, like, cause there's other Pokemon out there that, like, there's one Pokemon. The theory is, it was made by the defacing of a human, and it carries around its human face while it's floating around in the sky. I forget the name of the Pokemon, but it has a mask in its hand. It's actually a human's face. It's floating around with its own face, and that's.
I can't think of what that is.
I forget the name of the Pokemon. I would give you the exact name, but I can't remember. It is a ghost Pokemon, and several Pokemon out there that are ghost related all have like a background. Like one of them is what's the name of them? I'm trying to get the name of them. Let me see. The Pokemon Pootrump is a lost child of the woods and died in the woods and was reborn as this Pokemon. Mimikyu does not like Pikachu. Well, yes, because it's jealous. It wants everybody to love him because he's not very good looking at. But yeah, Mimikyu is out there. I thought that was really good. Of course, lost children being lost in the woods and dying in the woods and then coming back as ghost Pokemon. That's pretty dark. That's a theory. That
is pretty dark.
But problem is, you can hatch these little things from an egg. So is it like this Pokemon was created at least once or twice? They made it, and now there's a whole line of this Pokemon. Because how can you hatch a ghost Pokemon from an egg?
That's a very good question. And here's another thing. I just looked up an image of what's supposed to be all ghost Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
I don't see that Pokemon anywhere in it.
Let me see. I don't know if it's.
However, the Alolan version of our guy earlier,
yeah,
he is considered ghost.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna try to figure it out. Did I type it wrong? What's it? Um. Okay. Where is? I typed it wrong here. Let me see.
Oh, it's this one. Okay, I got it. I found it.
What's his name?
Hang on. I'm trying to pull it up where I can see the actual name. Right now, I'm just seeing images. Um,
I know he's a later generation of Pokemon, but I don't remember the name of that Pokemon.
gosh. Here, I'm gonna send you this so maybe you can help me find it because
Yeah, that's him. Uh,
Yamask,
Yamish. Yeah, Yamask.
Yamask,
Yeah, Yamask.
Yamask.
Yes, that's the one. A lot of people theorize that its face is carrying is or was originally a human's face, the face of the human that died and turned into that Pokemon. Um, and it's carrying it around for hopefully someone will recognize him. And it's
Look,
always
this used to be me. Ah!
and it's I always had that tearing eye, like that tear in his eye, because it might be crying. Some of the other games though, it carries around like um little pieces of structure from ancient ruins, but
Yeah,
no one really knows what the deal with that is. But the theory of the mask is supposed to represent the Pokemon's previous life, and I thought that was pretty dark in the idea of being a dead person being
yeah.
brought back to Pokemon.
That's pretty dark. That's pretty dark.
Now, I know
Um,
this is an old theory um, of Pokemon for Gengar. Now, you know what
okay.
Gengar is, right?
Yep.
A lot of people thinks that Gengar's ghost was originally a Clefairy.
They're kind of round and shaped the same.
Yes, a lot of people believe the theory is that Clefairy dies, and Clefairy has been established in the anime series as a Pokemon from the moon,
Yeah.
which they all tried to go back to the moon during one of the episodes. And then I forget what happened. Then Jigglypuff showed up and slapped the out of him. I love that scene. So and the creator when they first designed, because Clefairy was supposed to be like the I wouldn't say the logo, but like the icon character for Pokemon. He was supposed to be the character that everybody looked at Pokemon, and Clefairy was it.
Right.
But later on, Pikachu became the symbol of Pokemon. It was more beloved,
Right.
more cherished. And in designing of Clefairy, people noticed that the same drawing of Gengar was 1-to-1 because it had little spikes on his head and its arms and body shape, which would make me wonder why is there even previous evolutions of a Gengar being gone from Ghastly to Haunter to a Gengar if that was a Clefairy.
Well, yeah, I can see that. I can see where you're asking, but you have Clefable, Clefairy,
Mm,
so I don't know. Maybe they have to follow an evolution path, even if they turn into ghosts.
maybe that their body is not in full form just yet, or not,
Right.
and then they're slowly coming into their form. I can see that. Yeah. Okay. Do you have another one?
No, I'm out. None
You're
of
out.
y'all are mine.
Well, I still have a few myself. So okay. Let's see this one right here. Dark Pokemon trading theory. Now this is a dark one. I'm gonna go with this theory with you. In the
Okay.
Pokemon world, there's many Pokemon that need to be trained in order to evolve into their final forms. Haunter to Gengar, Machop to Machamp, etc. With that in mind, many players have found themselves wondering how exactly Pokemon like Gengar show up in the wild. As far as anybody knows, Pokemon like Gengar and Machop cannot evolve without first being trained. That means that traders of the that means that the trainer of any wild final form Pokemon either has released the Pokemon or that has trained has passed away. So how are you supposed to meet these evolution Pokemon in this world when they were probably released? Did they die out in the world? You just find out someone.
I got it. Here you go. Here's a theory.
Mm,
Like, because especially with Gengars, they're devious little fuckers.
yeah,
They have to be what, a haunter first?
we had to be a hunter first.
So, we know Haunter doesn't have a problem with sneaking around and scaring people. Who's to say he's not standing out and checking out the window at the gym going, he's Rocky in that Joker. He's trying to get to that final form, baby.
he's trading up outside of it. Because that would mean that traders are out in this world and they're possibly just dying and the Pokemon are just being set free and wandering around. But how could you capture them, right? They already had
Yeah. Right. So, and on that premise, it brings up another question. If you die,
Mm-hmm.
hypothetical, if Ash had been hit by a bus
Yeah.
in season 3, all those Pokemon and all those Pokeballs that he has on him that he has to open to let them out, how do they get out?
Exactly.
Do they stay in the ball forever, or is there like a synchronicity between heartbeat and Pokeball? If the heart stops, it just opens.
Yeah, I would hope you set them free. I would feel bad if I died and all my Pokemon were forever trapped inside the Pokeball going. But then, and you play the video game or playing the game, you find random Pokeballs in the world. As that past Pokemon.
Wait, here we go.
Uh-huh.
Now, get even darker with that shit is that why Pikachu never wanted to go in a Pokeball? It's already happened once to him.
Oh, that is a good theory. Pikachu didn't want to go back to the ball because his past trainer died, and it finally got out of the ball, and he's like, "No, I know if you die, I'm stuck inside of it again. Not happening." That
That's
is
some deep shit, right?
Oh boy, that is a good one. I would almost rather that theory than the theory that Pikachu was just like, Red just decided to go, you know what? I don't want no more. Here, Professor Oak. Give it to the next trainer if you want to. I don't want anything to do with it. That is, okay, I like that theory.
I've never heard that one anywhere. I just made that one up.
Hey, it's a good one. It's a good run-on theory. All right, 2 more theories. Now, this past theory that was actually recently finally showed in the TV series. It was a theory for years. What happens to the Pokemon when they went inside the Pokeball? And for years, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're just capturing these poor creatures inside this Pokeball. They're stuck there. They're just bit of data, and they can't get out, and they're just this is horrible. You're just capturing creatures and leaving them inside the Pokeball and leaving them there forever. Inside the Pokédex, or not inside the Pokédex, inside the PC. Well, this past one just showed in the luxury Pokeball, if a Pokemon is captured, you can see inside the Pokemon is in a very luxurious, nice, comfortable room with all the amenities to keep it comfortable.
Okay, so that means the basic balls suck.
So
no wonder Pikachu didn't want to get stuck again.
So I always thought, because the TV series made me think this, made me believe this, that when you caught the Pokemon, that it was sent off to Professor Oak, and like they were let loose in a little room, walking around, playing with each other all day long, until Ash is like, "All right, I choose you." Click the ball, signing for the Pokemon to get back inside the data machine so he could summon him on his end of the ball, right? I always thought that.
Nah, that's not what I thought. I always assumed that there was some kind of like storage area in the ball, kind of like ghost busting ghost traps,
Yeah.
But I never knew that they were like tiers of like condos, double wides, fucking castles and shit. I mean, shit. Pikachu was stuck in a Winnebago.
Yeah.
No wonder he didn't.
And of course, nowadays with so many balls that there is out there, there's an electric ball, water ball, pretty much every single type of elemental ball out there. So if you have a certain Pokemon, they're like, "Hey, I want my Pokemon to be comfortable in this electric ball. That's an electric Pokemon. Yeet! It'll love that space, but The regular Pokeball, you're just shit out of luck. You just get like a 10-foot by 10-foot little spacious area with a chair. It just says
hot.
yeah, just wait for your turn to come out. It's like, god dang. Okay, the last one I have is in the Pokemon universe, do humans eat Pokemon?
Oh, that's a good question because let's think. How many animals outside of Pokemon do you actually see? Now
Yes.
you do see some fish because you see that in the ocean when he's traveling, to Alola or he's going through, traveling on the cruise at one time. You see fish, but how many other animals when you're walking around
Do you
in the
see?
world do you see? I don't remember seeing a whole lot.
Yes.
However, I do know that banquet that they threw at Ash's house when Charizard was being a dick had a shitload of meat everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So,
So
like, are we eating Charizards and Cubons and Pikachus?
yeah, like are there certain delicacy Pokemon out there that's not just meant for capturing and fighting? Because there's not many other foods in the Pokemon universe. Even in the Pokemon Arceus, you don't see a lot of other things being grown other than some vegetables, and that's really all there is. So fish and meat have to come for something, so have to hunt. But there's no cows, there's no cattle, there's no lambs, there's no goats. There's just
Maybe Stealthy said maybe they're eating the ones that are untrainable.
yeah. So, and if so, what Pokemon are being eaten? And one of the things is Magikarps. Because one of the episodes of the series, they show a Magikarp cut up in a bunch of little pieces, and Brock and Ash are thinking about it, going, "Ugh, I don't know how that would taste." But really, what else is to eat? And does that mean other Pokemon eat too? Like, do they eat each other?
Yeah, don't be the sick one in the group. You might get eaten.
unless they're all vegetarians, yeah. So I would say that this world is a doggy eats dog world, and I feel like humans are eating Pokemon. They're not all loving and chummy together. There's no way. There's no possible way you could not eat one. At least try it. Hell, if I went to the Pokemon, I would try at least once. If it tastes good, well, then I'm sorry.
Hey, that Pokemon looks like a pig. Bacon.
Yeah, but the problem is the Pokemon are usually they're sentient. Is that the right word? Sentient? They're
Sentient, yes.
They're pretty smart. They have a way of communicating. They're pretty much aware of themselves. They're aware of other things, except for Magikarps. And if you kill one of them, would that feel like murdering somebody?
Stealthy says, well, when you read the Pokédex, Magikarp is a bony fish, so there's not really any meat. I mean,
no, that would be hard.
Farms with toros, beef for dinner,
beef or milk, a lot of cheese. So yes, I would say that cannot be just a theory. Like, that has to be real. They have to be eating each other. There's just no way they're not eating each other. And there's no way the humans are not eating them in some capacity. And that's a lot of Pokemon that are very similar to sheep and goats and cows.
She said there's also farms with 3-headed birds.
Yeah, that's chicken.
Yeah, right? Ostrich, turkey, something.
You're like, hey, we're using them for chicken races. I bet. That chicken don't win its race, it's fried that night. Deep fried and base. I would eat one. I would try it out. So yeah, those are some of the game Pokemon theories. If anybody out there have another good one, there's the other one, like Misty actually died back in the series because a Haunter licked her, and if Haunter licks you, posted it to the Pokédex, it will kill you. And only reason why Ash talks and sees Misty because he was in grief. I thought that was pretty dark. I'm like, wow.
It's really dark.
Misty was dead the entire time, and Ash felt guilty. And
then he did take her bike, and that's why she was following him.
And then, of course, there's Parasect with putting the zombie mushroom on their backs when they're babies. So when he's fully grown, it's a zombie zombie Pokemon, the parasite. You know the Pokemon with the big old mushroom on his back,
Right.
and his eyes are like just big old yellow globes. But people think it's actually been controlled by the mushroom on his back. But it licked Ash too. Yeah, so that's a lot of the people's theories on the show is very wild. I know it's a game, right? But it's always very interesting. And when those theories come to be true, sometimes it's just so much cooler. And I so hope that some of these theories come to be like, because I think Pokemon is what we've been playing Pokemon since the game came out.
Yeah.
It's been over 20 years, maybe even more now that Pokemon's been out. I think it's time for some dark stuff come out in Pokemon because we're all old now. We're all grown up and
It's when they do a live action Pokemon and it's all the dark shits in it.
oh yeah. Oof. I would really hope someday Nintendo decides this goes, you know what? We have this glorious years of all this kid friendly stuff. Let's get to the dark stuff. Let's really deep into these theories of people have about Pokemon and show how gritty it can be.
So Stealthy says also, yeah, the Pokédex Parasect is a crab-like creature with a parasite on its back.
Yeah. They think that parasite is controlling the Pokemon at that point when it's fully evolved, and it's a zombie Pokemon of its usual self. So it's feeding off of it, but it is it. So it's so I don't know if you've seen that one bug. If it goes inside of another bug, and it's literally the bug's like fully almost dissolved and almost down to his bone, and the bug is still moving it as if it's still alive. So it makes it look like it's still alive. So when the bird eats it or someone else eats it, it takes over the bird. But usually the parasite kills the bird before it can actually become a zombie itself. It's nature, and it's actually a real thing. Go look it up. It's pretty wild. There's even some cases where rats will get this parasite inside of it, and if a cat is playing with a rat, that the rat's not running away or not trying to get away and survive from the cat, to kill that rat, get it away from the cat because it has one of them inside of it. And if it gets hold of if your cat eats it, the cat will die. And that's pretty sad because I saw videos of stuff like that's scary. That's why I don't let my cat outside because I don't want that to happen to me.
Bug.
Yeah, it's literally a zombie bug, but it only takes control of animals so far. Let's hope it doesn't take control of us anytime. The bug's honestly hosts the brain for mercury by the mushroom on his back. The mushroom appears to do all the thinking. Yeah, okay, appears to do all the thinking. So yeah, it's not really a theory. It's more like facts. But Pokemon just won't say it's a zombie. They won't tell it like, yeah, it's dead. It's a dead Pokemon with a mushroom controlling it. I think that'd be just more. I think that'd be a better description of it. And I think that'd be more mature, right? Kids probably won't understand it. I think it'd just be more fun. Anyways, thank you for joining me this evening. If anybody has any more theories or thoughts, leave them down below. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Hope you liked it. If you did like it, we'll do more of it. But you gotta let us know down below. We're almost at 200. I would appreciate if you're going to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button down below as well, and share it to all your friends and family. As always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all. Sorry for the internet problem. Bye. One.